Welcome to LWL, our January session. Thank you, Spotlight Theaters, for hosting us again and supporting us. This is really a valuable asset to be able to hold our meetings at. This month, we're going to be hearing from Jeff Dresler and Sammy Vega, and I'm going to be reading you their bios. But truly, it doesn't cover, it's like the tip of the iceberg of what they do. Attorney Dresler is licensed in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. He is admitted to the U.S. District Court, District of Connecticut, U.S. District Court, District of Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Federal Court of Appeals, First District, Boston. Attorney Dresler is a member of the American Association of Justice, Civil Justice Foundation, Inter-American Bar Association, and the National Connecticut Hispanic Bar Associations. He is bilingual, multifaceted, multicultural community activist. He has served and serves on various nonprofit board of directors, is a former radio station owner, a third-degree black belt in martial arts, ring announcer, member of the State Boxing Commission, and founder of Mega Education, a scholastic incentive system serving inner-city school children as a conduit for creative, socially responsible corporate support of scholastic incentives. Samuel Vega. He is the president of the CICD Puerto Rican Parade, Inc. The Connecticut Institute for Community Development Puerto Rican Parade Committee is a nonprofit 501c3 organization founded in 1958 dedicated to social engagement, community building, cultural enrichment, and most renowned for its annual Puerto Rican Day Parade. He is the director of Mega Education since 2003. He works at Dresler Law as an office manager since 1998 to present, and since 1992, he has been a boxer. He went to school at Central Connecticut State University and Prince Tech. Sam Vega won the 1997 National Junior Olympic title and National PAL championships in 1996 and 1997. But more importantly, I want to introduce them as the supporters of so many things in the South End that I am involved in. So the Roberto Clemente celebration, celebrations in our parks with the Amigos Softball League and the Friends of Colt Park. And that's how I know them. And I know that they do so much more, especially Mega Education, that people have asked me, what is that and what do they do? So please welcome Jeff Dresler and Sam Vega.
I was going to call it a day after the bios. All right. When I present Sammy, usually what I do is this working? Yes. Yeah. I need some bass here. All right. I said he is the former national junior Olympic boxing champion, the former national silver gloves champion, the former national two-time PAL champion, formerly ranked number 1 in the country, number 4 in the world, Sammy Suave Vega. I represented Sammy's dad before he was born, and I present him in the ring since he was 10. He lost his first fight, but champions do not stay down. Sammy was one of the 10-year-olds that when we started the rehab, the San Juan Center here on Main Street, he's one of the 10-year-olds that hauled out the dead trees, dead rats, old refrigerators out of an abandoned hardware. Almacén. What do you call that? Yeah. Hardware, okay. No, it wasn't that. A warehouse. There it is. Okay, gracias. All right, so we had to go outside to go to the bathroom because it didn't have any bathrooms in it. This was home for these kids. And they wrote on the wall when they got through, this is our gym, we are family. And out of that gym, many of the kids became firefighters, police officers. They went into the armed forces. Out of one of the gyms, we had a kid that graduated law school. And there they found mentors, they found family. So after Sammy won the Junior Olympics, it was go to the Olympic trials or go to school. And he chose school, and he contemplated going pro. But his mentoring team said no. And some of the guys that he had beaten along the way became world champions. He did go pro. You can see him in a double-breasted, nice suit. And what he does now is he touches many lives. We built a couple boxing gyms in Connecticut. One particularly now is COBA, Charter Oak Boxing Academy. The director is Johnny Callis. He's a social worker, master's degree, three-time All-American champion. He's a world-renowned referee, a boxing referee. But more so, the theme of the gym is that they produce champions of life, not of the ring. So we have an education center. We have the Trinity team, the UConn team, the University of Hartford boxing team that are there. The Trinity students come every day to tutor our kids. We have a women's empowerment. The whole thing is based around all of these mentors and education. Education is the theme of my life. I'm an attorney here. I go back and forth to Puerto Rico. I have to tell you, my life is full. I live it with purpose. And that is the theme which I teach youth. I try to create a world that we envision. And for Hartford, I was born and raised in the north end of Hartford. I call myself a north end boy. Where are you from?
Blue Hills, Clay Hill now.
All right. I grew up off of Love Lane on Harper Street. I went to school on Westland Street and then on Albany Avenue in Woodland. And my mother told me I was going to be a lawyer since I was a little guy. And my parents didn't finish high school. My mother was a manicurist in barbershops and beauty salons and saved her tips to send me to college. And when I graduated college and law school, I came out with no debt. I'm eternally grateful. When I left the country for 1 year, which turned into 7, I came back with a language, a wife, and a law degree. And I started to come back and work with the community. When I was going to UConn, I played baseball in Puerto Rican leagues. And I fell in love with the people, with the culture. When I came back, I dedicated myself to work with this great community and for all of the communities, because my practice is 99% African American and Latino. So what we did, we started getting involved. I started teaching martial arts with some other kids in some of the schools. Bought a radio station in 1990, and I created a program which morphed into Mega Education, where we are nearing our 30th year. And what it is, it's a scholastic incentive system that's designed to recognize kids for their efforts, bring in the parents, because it starts with the parents, and it's 365 days a year. And what I created was, this was created, I partnered with a radio chain, and this was created for 26 markets along the East Coast of the United States. I created something for the media that they would be able to sell PSAs, because this is something that's wholesome. It's not really commercial, but I can explain that in another way. But I created a conduit for corporate goodwill in a socially acceptable manner to the schools, so that we can partner together to get the kids involved, to get the parents involved, and make our city a better place. Because if we want a great city, we need great schools. Because young people come in, the first thing they ask when they come into a city, how are the schools? That is what the foundation that I see for Hartford. And we've supported the Hartford school system 365 days a year. We were the sole sponsors of many of the academic competitions. I'm not seeing what's going back for, okay. the academic competitions, attendance programs. We partnered with a car dealer here who would give a new car each year for perfect attendance. We gave out scholarships. We partnered with one of the PTO presidents who had a tracking system for parents to see how often they came into the schools. We were giving out trips to the Caribbean. But it's not just giving it out, it's the way that we motivated it. One year for the third year, there's a national program called third grade reading. And if kids are not reading up to grade by third grade, they're probably going to fail. So the school system was behind that. We jumped in, and there are just a couple of geniuses that created a curriculum where the third graders had to read a few articles. One year was Jesse Owens, Roberto Clemente, and Wilma Rudolph. So they had to talk. They read about how they had to overcome their childhood problems, become the icons that they finally became. And they had to write essays on it. And all of the kids in Hartford from the third grade submitted their essays. They chose two essays from winning essays from each of the schools. And then we celebrated one of the elementary schools. It was standing room only. We provided the incentives. One year we partnered with the Bushnell, so each winner, each entry that was selected, and that's two from each school, I got 4 tickets to the Bushnell. And we always try to make it a family affair because that's what education is. One year we provided a computer tablet for each of the kids. So the year that we did this, and it's the way that we motivated them. We had a buffet dinner. The teachers and the superintendent served the food, and it was marvelous. We had the first few winners. We sent out a limo. We picked them up. We brought them to the Bushnell. That year, the only area that improved in the district was third grade. And we realized it's how we motivate kids. And we know that a kind word can change someone's life. So we're still partnering with the Hartford school system right now. They're focusing on attendance, but we had a 5th grade competition that it was like the NCAA, NCAA, all right? The brackets, and the championship was held at the Hartford Public Library. It was celebrating education. It was celebrating our children. And for Hartford, I thought it was just magnificent. So it's 365 days for the kids. We sponsor an adult softball league at Cole Park. Cole Park, from one side to the other, is cooking from 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. They start in April. They end up, the season ends in October. They play the championship games at the Yard Goats. So I mean, this is real deal stuff. This is great baseball. They had some guys that were bouncing a softball off of the walls at the Yard Goats Stadium. So I mean, it's really good, and all the time I've been there. There's respect for one another. It's a family affair every single Sunday because you've got 400 players, so you got all of their families, all of the kids. There's never an incident, and it's very, very well organized. And I thought, wow, here is something that's really grassroots that was created by the Latino community, and it's the biggest thing going every single Sunday. You want to have a good time? They have a salsa band, los rumberos. They have playing. It's food. They have concessions. They have food. We have rodeos. We raffle off bicycles on the weekends, and this group of magnanimous people are there for the community whenever they need. After the hurricane in Puerto Rico, and one day. The softball league and the families collected provisions that filled 5 tractor trailer full of water, provisions, food that was eventually sent down to Puerto Rico. And then we went down with a little crew. We loaded up the trucks, and we went up to the mountain towns that after 5 months still had no water, had no food, had no electricity. But the community of Hartford, Connecticut was there for them, and we let them know that. So it was wonderful. And when we went down there with the nothing that they had, they offered it to us. They took us into their homes, and they fed us. And I don't eat that much, but you got to eat. You got to eat over here, and you go to another. We went to see Sammy's relatives whenever we go down there. So it was just a lot of food. So Sammy, we have the boxing right now. If anyone wants to see something that's some good boxing, we bought after 50 years of the Western New England Golden Gloves. It's right here in Hartford. The finals are going on. We've had them for the last 4 weeks. All right, and the championships, you want to see some great boxing, it's at the State Armory. All right, so on our Connecticut Boxing Commission, we have an all-star cast. We have the chairman is Scott Esdale. He's also the president of the NAACP. If any of you know Cato Lorenzen, he was the head of orthopedics at UConn, also recognized by Obama as a scientist. So we have a lot of people that are really concerned with Hartford's youth. And we like to provide every opportunity during school, after school, whether it be with the baseball leagues, with the boxing, or with the schools. My day job is law, so I'm now working 36 hours a day. Sammy is he's the one that does all the work for Mega Education. He's the one that makes it happen. He's a gentle giant. He's also on NRZ. He's also on the board for Catholic Charities. He's also one of the most active members in the church. So he's got it going on. His wife was our lead paralegal. It's very hard to find good employees, so we started to breed our own. All right, so they have 3 lovely kids. Yeah. So that's what I do. I give voice to the most vulnerable. I like to think that I uphold justice for my clients and social justice for our community. Because while there is, Dr. King says, while there is injustice for any of us, there's not justice for any of us, for anyone. Any questions? Yes, sir. The very extremely good-looking man right in the final row.
Use this. I gotta turn it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Hartford, Connecticut.
Live from Hartford, Connecticut. Only on HPA-TV, Hartford Public Access.
Oh, are we on TV?
Yeah, we're on TV. Yes. Rebroadcast, thank you, HPA-TV. Hey, couple of questions. First of all, you say you address the Latino and the African American communities.
Everybody, but in Hartford.
Everybody in Hartford. So where is your facility now? If you were in that former hardware warehouse you mentioned on Main Street previously, are you still there?
Well, that's going to be rehabbed. For redevelopment, it's right across the street, diagonally across the street from the stadium. And I got involved because I started training with some kickboxers down there in 1992.
Talking about Dillon Stadium?
No, from the Dunkin' Donuts Stadium. All right. So it's
Dunkin'
behind Savin's, if you know the shoe store, right across from Capital Prep High School. And right now, the whole block is going to be redeveloped. I saw that a few years ago. So the new gym, COBA, Charter Oak Boxing Academy, is on Pope Park Highway. You know where that is? You know where the new bus station is on Park, and I think it's Pope Park Highway. Yeah, CT Fast Track. That's it.
In Parkville.
In Parkville. So I mean, we held 2 ESPN internationally televised fights out of the San Juan Center because we had the talent here. And Hartford used to be, in days of old, the mecca of boxing. It took a little hiatus, but I think it's definitely coming back.
Marlon Starling and Company. Okay, so you're now...
And Hartford should appreciate more of its native
now the
sons.
Parkville neighborhood. Children in the Northeast neighborhood, where I'm involved with the group Hartford Kiwanis School, we've been addressing that neighborhood the most.
Mm-hmm.
We help others.
That's my own neighborhood.
Okay, and it's a lot of wonderful people there. So how are kids participating from the Northeast neighborhood, for example?
I don't know of anything in the Northeast neighborhood. What used to happen, we used to have all the projects, Bellevue Square, Charter Oak Terrace, Stowe Village, and all of the projects had their own gym, right? An Icon and Johnny Duke at the Bellevue Square. And it was, and HUD used to fund the gyms. And for 25 years, these gyms used to compete against each other. It's USA Boxing that's the parent organization. It's the Olympic authority in boxing. And the good thing about USA Boxing is once these kids at 8 years of age, they can get their book. All right, they sign up. They're covered by a national insurance program. So these gyms were absolutely packed, and they used to compete. And there was never incidents of violence or anything when the kids got there, because they all had their guys there. They had Sammy, and Sammy still keeps in contact with people from other parts of the country. They knocked down the projects, and they didn't build the gyms. So the kids went out into the neighborhoods with nowhere to go. Wow. So you had to have people scrambling to build these gyms out of their own pockets, because there was no public funding that would help them. And it's a shame, because the schools get out and the kids go out and they need something to do. We have to occupy their time. That word I said, I live life with purpose. One of the things we have to show kids is to live life with purpose.
Okay, so the gyms went away when the public housing projects went away. They were knocked down and not replaced.
Those gyms, some
Those gyms.
have surfaced.
In the Northeast neighborhood right now, they have Parker Memorial Center, which closes early because they open up, now they're opening up earlier, so they're closing earlier because of budgetary constraints and staffing issues. So unfortunately, it's a gorgeous facility.
Yep.
Absolutely gorgeous. They have a full-size pool, they get wonderful gym space, workout rooms, all that stuff. But it's underutilized. And also, Salvation Army at 100 Nelson Street has a gym, and it could be better utilized, especially at night if there were people who could work with the majors.
Which part of Nelson Street?
Pardon?
Which part of Nelson?
Right by the corner of northeast corner of Barber and Nelson.
Okay.
Right across from the closed park,
Yep.
school.
Yep.
Yeah.
I grew up there.
Okay, so that facility is, in my opinion, underutilized. I don't want to stretch their staffing that much, but maybe other people like your organization could run, or other groups could run a program there. But we need to have more programs where the kids are off the street. We try to get them into scouting programs and youth fellowship programs and stuff like that.
You got kids that are boys and girls kids, and you got kids that are for the boxing gyms, because we all have different likes and we gravitate to certain activities. And I'm not a 501c3. You're looking at me. I do it because it's a compulsion. I love doing it. People, I tell them, listen, if you want to really feel good about yourself, come down with these kids. We have talent. We have the greatest kids around. And we have these programs for big brothers and big sisters. And I applaud all of these organizations. But we need more. We need everybody to buy in to this system. When we're organizing this new, the superintendent called us in and said, listen, we want you to work with us with attendance. I said, fine. I said, if we want to do something, we need all the pastors. We need all the churches. We need all of the community organizations. We need every single person to buy into this program, because this is what we're about, and we can make this city the greatest city in the world. The greatest city in the world! Yes.
Okay, so you could collaborate with other organizations and get a program going, for example, in one of the 15 neighborhoods, the Northeast neighborhood, for example. If we had a facility, the question is how to fund that, how to staff it.
Bingo.
And it's got to be collaboration.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, Yanil has an idea.
Let's do it.
Are you done?
I have other questions, go ahead.
Your brother was a boxer, correct?
No.
No?
You confused me now.
Okay.
But thank you. Anyway.
All right.
And Jeffrey, I just first thank you. You know, our community appreciate what you're doing for them. So my concern for the last few years is that we have invested a lot of resources in providing programs that are very good, but we also look like we haven't done anything, because one of the measurements of success in our community is to move away from Hartford. And I'm totally frustrated because I've been working on the nonprofit sector for 18 and a half years, working on Park Street more than that. And I can see consistently, whether they are youth or adults, talking about moving away from Hartford. And I think that we need to be intentional on what we do, because we are letting those resources that we invested go away. Have you given any thoughts about how to keep that community that you are investing here? And second, right now, that's another part of the question. Right now, I know that we are looking at the potential revenue source coming up in a few years, maybe 2. That's revenue from the selling of pot. And besides the politics of that issue, no? Which I have other opinions, but it's very likely it's going to happen. When you were talking about the lack of centers underutilized, that's where I think some of the money could go into that. They're looking right now where to invest that money. My thinking is investing in the communities for people to stay, make it vibrant, be very focused on not only on the darlings, the school system, but also maybe early childhood education, economic development, home ownership, and so on, so people stay in the neighborhood. Have you given any thought in your work how we can capture and retain that success that you have created to stay in the city of Hartford, so the city of Hartford shows what it is?
There's no silver bullet. I see Reverend Henry Lewis, Henry Brown, every time there's a homicide and they have these vigils. And I said, Henry, it's going to take a generation. It's not overnight. It's not more police. You need more teachers. You need to teach our teachers. I still think it starts with the schools. People moving out because they want schools, they want safer places. We have to train our children. We have to educate our children and train them to be job ready. If they have a good job, they're not going to go out and cause all these problems. The violence, everything relates back to education. It's all about education. It may take a generation, but we all have to buy into it right now. If we want a good city, I think we need the good schools. And when people start moving in, you're going to see an economic upsurge. But we have to start. I think we have to be focused. If we try to do everything at one time, we're not going to get much done. I think we can focus on making something successful. Small successes, and build upon them. My shtick, I look at the schools. I look at the education. I try to show that, listen, parents don't need a college education, not even a high school education. All you need is love. A parent's love for their children goes beyond where words can express. And if we can tap onto this and have captains of the hundreds and the tens and get everyone into the schools, it'll be a slow change, but it will be a change. But that's where we have to start. You know, I love what Johnny Callis is doing at Coba. And I applaud him at the boxing gym for these kids, and we have mentors. You know, but it's for me, it's piecemeal. We have to start the basic. And if we can get money, when we had a lot of money, we weren't doing this. So what happened? Where was that money going? Right? Well, we're here. We have to focus, and that's my focus.
How many schools have you been involved with? You said the third grade program. I agree with you 100%. If they, by third, fourth, fifth grade, sixth grade, if they don't know composition, they don't know reading and stuff, they're never going to be successful in their lives. Critical time frame. So how many schools are you able to reach out to, and are there possibilities for expanding that?
Right now, what are we in, 60 schools? I mean, we're in New Britain, we're in Waterbury. I might be in 3 schools. I mean, I work till 11 o'clock at night. You know, whatever time I have 9 lawyers, 4 ladies. Let's hear it for the ladies, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Okay. I have a wonderful, we have about 40 people in the law firm. I'm very proud of all of them, and I like them to know that they're all responsible for what we do. So we're in Bloomfield, and we're in the schools that will have us there. And what happens every time they change a principal, one principal may not know what the program was, and they may not renew it. I've got enough on my plate as it is, but I have a speech impediment. I think he's starting to get it also. We can't say no. And with joy, you know, I start my day with prayer, and I thank God for the direction that I have. We love doing this. You know, people, oh, you do this and you do so much. Well, know the joy. It's not what I do, and I don't do it for accolades. You know, I do it because I love doing it. And I tell people, you can't fool kids or dogs. You know, I wish adults had tails. You know, right? You'd be able to tell exactly what they're thinking.
Mega education programs. Yeah, we partner with about 70 schools.
Come on up here, Sammy.
Yeah, so we partner with about 70 schools, but we don't create the program, we partner with the schools. So if they have a reading program, that's when we come in and we help out with incentives. So Mega Education, we don't create the program.
Come on, come here.
Just wanted to get back to
Get on camera here.
Yeah, come on up here. This is Sammy Vega, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We will partner with the schools that the programs have, and sometimes we've created our own programs. If, you know, we might suggest something. So we know that it's the teachers that know how they want to motivate the children, what goals they want them to achieve. So we work with them in that vein. Right.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Another question?
Stole the microphone. Give
Did
it
I
back.
forget anything? We got the baseball, we got...
No, you pretty
All right.
much cover everything.
All right.
So my question is, I mean, thank you very much. This is incredible what you're doing. How can we help? What can we do to help you advance your agenda?
Well, I said that Mega Education is a conduit for socially acceptable corporate goodwill. So right now, for example, on the attendance, well, we are now working with different organizations. We're approaching different organizations. We had an excellent relationship with Chet, because we'd go into the schools and we'd give out college certificate bonds. We'd raffle off a whole bunch. And I tell the story about, you know, I don't let them know it's me until the end of the story, about graduating. I tell them about I grew up in a little street in the north end of Hartford, and I go through the whole thing, and I said, I'm that kid. So it's organizations like this, if we can get an incentive that we can give out that's educational, great. We had Cocoa Keys when that was the water theme park. We had a great relationship with them, and we had an attendance program, right? It was at the city. And the winning the winning school, we took the entire school to Cocoa Key. Huge, all right? And it was a good incentive for the following year. And it's media-based, so we create these really snappy videos, you know, in Spanish and English, on the radio. We choreographed one, you know, Kim Knight, all right, choreographed with the kids. And we had this rapper, and you know, we did it in Hartford High about, you know, getting to school late, and it was like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know. It's like a mob, you know, a flash mob, but it was beautifully choreographed, and kids want to see themselves. So we use these events as the incentives. You want to be in this? You got to do this. So we had that. Six Flags we're dealing with. All right, these are the things. Movie tickets. These are all of the incentives that we like to get the kids to do. And it's not, well, we're going to pay you to do well. Well, we all have incentives in the corporate world, but we do it in a way to make them feel good about it. Our Student of the Month program, we go into these schools, and we're at least 30 schools per month. Some of them have, you know, every 2 months, and we might do 3 schools in a day. So each school selects one kid from a homeroom, right? And we like to do it with the parents. So we have an entire auditorium. A whole third of the section are the parents, right? And here they bring balloons, they bring flowers. It is an event. We roll in with a red carpet, all right? We tell those kids, when you walk that carpet, you own that carpet, all right? I mean, we do a show. And I jump around like a third grader, but I am now giving gold medals to children to whose parents I awarded gold medals, and they never forget it. I go to the hospitals, I go wherever I go. You gave me one of those awards when I was in 3rd grade, or you gave me one of those awards when I was in 2nd grade. They never forget it. We all want a pat on the back. So what I do is I combine the corporate world. If you have something that, and I give you visibility, all right? If it's something that's not conducive to the education, I put it in our media, all right? So you do, I don't come like this, I come like this, all right? Big difference, because the second time I come up the stairs like that, right? All right, so I come in partnership, but you get unparalleled visibility, you get a warm, tingly feeling all over, all right? It gives you a great feeling, and you're making the world a better place. In Hebrew, it's called tikkun olam, all right, to repair a fractured world. And that's what we do. So what a joy we have. I've seen this is my son right here. I love him. All right, I am, of anything I've done in my life, this is one of the things I am most proud of. For what he has done, and he is now touching many lives. This is the new generation. Right, he and the younger people that are in Mega Education. I'm not retiring. Well, actually, I set my retirement date 3 weeks after I die. I feel I'm going to be billing someone anyway, right? All right, so I love what I do, and so if anyone wants to get involved, please contact us. We'll be more than happy to work with you. Or, if you like, we have the boxing gyms. All right, the COBA, we have sponsors there, and we have a great relationship with Trinity and UConn, and so come. I'll show you a good time, and if you have a business, we'll give it great visibility.
I think we have time for just one more question.
All right.
Somebody has
I have 3 questions. So two of them are very simple. So Mega Education is not a 501c3.
No.
You probably have partners who are.
Well, what happens is the schools come to me at the last minute, all right? And with all deference to them and with all respect, but things are done in the last minute. So if I were had to go to a board and wait a month or 2, all I have to do is either look at Sammy, or if he's not around, I go to the bathroom, look at the mirror, and say, can we do this? Yeah, we can do it, all right? And we do it. And I commit, and either I have to run out and get some help, or we make it happen.
Cool. And then I'll skip to my final question. For both of you, both of you have been in Hartford a long time. Based on kind of any year of the past, you choose, has Hartford gotten better or worse?
This is the best day that Hartford has ever had, and tomorrow will be better. And I want everyone to buy into that. Because we are here. We are now. We need each other. So we roll up our sleeves, and I truly believe, I was born and raised here. I believe in this city. I love this city. It's a beautiful location between, you know, Hartford, Boston. You got the shore. You got everything. You've got sports. You've got culture. And you got the greatest people. So what I want to do is work with you. Please contact us, and you can help make things happen for the greatest city in the world. Thank you.